It's 2 p.m. Detroit, and you know what that means. Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
Hey, let's go. Tuesday show, August 6, 2024. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. If you're watching on YouTube, part of the over 66,000 subscribers on this platform, hit the like button for us. Subscribe to Woodward Sports. Tell a friend about us as well. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
It is a good afternoon. Ryan, I'm excited to be here. Haven't been here since Thursday. It's a lot going on in the sports world, so I'm not going to waste your time with what's going on with me. I'm ready to talk some sports when you are.
Let's do it. Tom Mazaway out today. He'll be out all week visiting the family in Jersey City.
That's why I got the Dr. J for him.
97-year-old dad to the track on Saturday, so that was a good day.
Big Sammy Maz.
Absolutely, Sammy Maz. We have yet to hear how they're doing or anything like that, but Maz and Sammy Maz at the track in Jersey. It just doesn't get any better than that. Pete Spivak is here as well. Do we still say intern Joel?
He's graduated.
Just straight up Joel.
I think he's Joel.
Joel, welcome in.
Man.
And hey, before we start the show today, huge shout out to Anson yesterday and the entire crew here 100%. Who kind of chipped in for us yesterday in the show. Anson, you are the man. Big fan of yours. You carried that show yesterday beautifully, and everybody else chipped in too. Joel, KG, Pete, thank you guys so much. Fantastic effort out of you guys yesterday, and I encourage everybody to check it out as well. So you can go back, and the beauty of this platform, Bray, is you can go watch whatever you want, whenever you want. So
as soon as the show's over, it's right there for you.
Absolutely. All right, Bray, let's get into it. We're going to talk to Anthony Broome coming up. Michigan football, lots going on with them. But I do want to hit on your golf game quickly before the breaking news from the Lions today. But you played. Whoa! I almost fell off my chair.
I saw the balance though.
You played in the Dr. Pierce outing yesterday.
I did. So I got a chance to see Dr. Pierce play in the outing yesterday.
No rain?
You know, it rained after about 11 holes. Gave us about an hour and a half delay. Then we went back out there. But this is funny to sit up like I'm left, but I'm setting up. This is a drive. It's a good drive right here. I put out there about 240 or so, and nothing crazy. But it was a good outing. Things that they do. This is the 27th year of the outing for the disabled sports individuals. They do an amazing job. There's a lot of people out there hanging out. Side note, you know who we should have been filming though is Brady Wood.
Yeah,
Brady can shoot, man. Brady hits the ball a ton. Hit some great shots in there. Had a lot of fun.
Brady Wood here, Woodward Sports.
100%. Oh yeah, that's that power right there.
I'm actually playing in a golf outing tomorrow.
What is this?
Special needs golf outing in St. Clair Shores.
What is the strongest part of your game?
Ball retrieving.
Pause.
That's major pause. So you said it goes all over the place.
Ball retrieving. You know what? No, here you go. Here's one. In a scramble, and I only play scrambles.
I like it.
If I go second or third or fourth when you putt, I can knock that putt down.
You can see the line.
If I see the line,
okay,
I can hit more putts than not.
That's respectable because at the end of the day, when you're playing these outings, to win, you got to make putts.
Right, but whenever I play in a scramble, people think I suck so bad, so they want me to show them the line.
That's what people mess up a lot. Like sometimes, just because you're not the best putter doesn't mean you go first because you're not going to give an accurate line. You
right.
Give you 2-3, you might even knock that putt down.
Right, exactly. So that was a pretty fun day yesterday, Bray.
Yo, it was a lot of fun out there, man. It's Fieldstone Courts. It's right in Auburn Hills. It's the first time I had played it, not too far from here. People were good. It's a good outing. The people were good. It's for a good cause. And, we hit some good shots. We shot 6 under. The winner, I hate these outings because the winner is 19 under. That means not only did you birdie every hole, you got an eagle along the way in there somewhere. So, I mean, I'm not calling people liars. I'm just saying I see a lot of erase marks when people get to 18,
just
19. Just saying. I'm just saying. But we shot a respectable 6 under. We had a good time. They fed us. And Woodward Sports we represent.
That's fantastic. Pete, you had a pretty good weekend, right?
Had a great, we had a great guys weekend. No phones, no TV,
Really?
no no video games, nothing. Strictly outdoor adventures. So we did a lot of diving. We did some shooting. We shot
How many guys?
Huh?
How many guys?
It's just me and my buddy. My buddy's married with 2 kids. So he and his kids, who are now teenagers. I'm Uncle Pete. And so we shot some guns. We did some scuba diving. We shot the Walther. Bray, you and I were talking about that.
Walther,
we shot the Walther
That's the
PPK,
one.
James Bond gun, baby.
That's
Absolutely,
fantastic,
but
man.
but I wanted to show you a couple real quick pictures if you
Yeah,
guys can humor
for
me.
sure.
I did go scuba diving. One of the greatest things in Petoskey is diving the underwater crucifix, which has been there since the late 50s.
Oh, yeah.
And so here's a picture of me getting ready to go down, and then here's a picture of me descending the underwater crucifix in Petoskey, which is really, really cool. Again, been there since the late 50s. And it's just something fun to do over there. There's a buoy that marks the spot. It's about 25 feet down. And so we free dived. I had a new 10-minute tank that we inflated and pumped up. But there you go. And then there's me kind of.
Look at you, Pete Spivey.
Absolutely.
Getting after it.
Absolutely. So it was a lot of fun, guys. And just up in Petoskey there in Little Traverse Bay, diving the Jesus statue and just did the side-by-side rides and just had a good, guys weekend. Again, it felt like the 80s.
Good for you, man.
Let me
Good
ask
for
you a
you.
question. 25 feet down, did you go all the way down to the bottom and kind of explore down there, or did you explore kind of
I did, but the camera died right when I got down there, of course. Sorry about that.
You know what's funny is I've been swimming since I was 1 year old. So I know how to swim. I don't mind swimming. I don't mind swimming in the ocean and the lake. But it's something about being in these bodies of water where the water's about 20 to 25 and you can see down. Scares the hell out of me.
Scares the heck out of you.
It scares the heck out of me. I jump in the ocean. I swim 10 feet in pools, aquatic centers. Something about being able to see 25 feet down.
Right. It's eerie. It can be eerie, but it's cool.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
I'm out on that too. Even though it'd probably be something I would really enjoy if I actually had the.
Me and you,
snows
one
to
day
do
we'll
it.
figure it out.
Yeah, we'll sit on the beach and watch
it's
everybody
very
else
fun.
do it.
Very fun.
Guys, so coming into today, I wanted to talk Michigan right out of the gate today. And I've got so many thoughts on Michigan and what's going on with the NCAA. I know you do too, Bray. 100%. We're going to talk to Anthony Broome about 20, 25 minutes from now about that. And probably a little bit before that, we'll share our thoughts. But we had to pivot a little bit today because of what has happened with the Detroit Lions. Two things kind of happened today. One, an injury. The other happened on the field. First, the injury. Emmanuel Mosley, it's being reported, has a torn pec. He is out indefinitely. This poor guy tore his left ACL 2 years ago. He tore his right ACL last year, and now he's torn a pec. Dan Campbell said there is a chance that he could be back this season, but Braylon Edwards, just how awful this is for this young man. I mean, you work so hard year in, year out to get healthy just to get back on the field and have another injury. So 2 things. 1, how bad do you feel for him? 2, what do you think this does to the defensive backfield?
1, I do feel bad for him. It's terrible. You know how hard it is when you tear you have a major injury and then you have to work those steps to get back. Tore his ACL, like you said, 2 years ago. He's playing with the San Francisco 49ers. Tears his ACL. I've been through that process. I've been through that rehab process. It is a long, grueling haul. So to be able to have the mental fortitude and the support of your team, of your friend, your family to get back and just to turn around and do it again, Ryan. So now you have to go through that process yet again. Team believes in you still. They bring you back. They sign you. We can get into all of that. But right now it's about him. And then you tear your pec. He's a resilient individual. I played with some guys like that. Thomas Davis was a guy that tore his ACL 3 times and still was able to have the career that he did with the Panthers. And then so was Frank Gore. Frank Gore is number 2 all time in rushing yards, and he tore his ACL twice in the NFL and twice in college. So it is possible to come back, but you just start to wonder, especially when it happens, first time he plays last year, when it happens in training camp this year. It sucks, but I think the Lions do have to make a decision as it relates to Emmanuel Mosley. Luckily, they didn't have to pay a big fee when they got him in there this year. It wasn't some major contract. It wasn't a huge, $10 to $20 million contract deal. It was a proven contract. It wasn't for that much money, so they won't feel bad. As it relates to the secondary as a whole, I think they're still in good hands. I think you drafted the 2 young guys, Ennis Rakestraw, Terry and Arnold, who we'll get a chance to talk about like you called earlier with the fight. But you got 2 young guys. You got some guys that you brought over from the Raiders. You brought Carlton Davis over from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that defense was very solid last year. So I think you have enough, but Emmanuel Moses was a player that this team believed in. They truly believed in his abilities from San Fran. They watched him get through an ACL surgery and come back. I really wanted to see what he had, because the fact that somebody would bring you back after 2 ACL surgeries and wanted to see what he had, but they're in good hands. It does suck, though, because you felt like this could have been a breakout year for him.
Totally sucks for him. And it's also interesting as well that the 2 major injuries to the Lions this season, John Kaminsky, defensive line, Emmanuel Moseley, defensive backfield. Those are 2 areas of strength, 2 areas of depth for this team. Now, I'm not minimizing how bad this sucks for each of them, but as it stands on the field for these guys, for the Detroit Lions, that is, if you're ever going to have an injury on this team, those 2 positions are probably as deep as any position on the roster that you could have.
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, you don't want to minimize the injury. You don't want the injuries to happen at all. But it's football, it's training camp. Things do happen. The fact that they happen at those positions, you have fillers in those roles. And these guys, Ryan, these guys weren't your superstar guys at those positions. These guys weren't the guys that you were counting on to take the first team reps, to maybe even take the second team reps. So with that said, it's tough that it happens. It is football. And like you said, you could be back. I mean, you're looking at Emmanuel Moseley.
Well, you look at CJGJ last
100%.
year. It happened in week one or week 2. I think
Happened
week two. Yeah, it was week 2 against the Seahawks. And then, he was able to come back for the postseason. This is, could he see the last month of the season? Potentially. You just don't know where he's at that point. He's been out of football for essentially 2 years.
Yeah, the good thing, he has been out for 2 years, but the good thing is you have the bodies, you have the depth, so you won't have to rush him back. When CJGJ came back last season, Ryan, if we want to call a spade, it was a weak position for us, talking about the secondary, could have been rushed back. Now, I'm not saying that Dan Campbell and the guys rushed him back or the medical team, but when you're trying to get back, you're the catalyst for your team. You're going to push the envelope, and I'm pretty sure the coaches and the trainers, they'll let you push the envelope along to help them as well. So this is a situation where Emmanuel Moseley won't have to be jumped in there or thrust into the battle a little earlier. So he'll be able to really come back when he really feels it, if he's able to come back.
Lions and Giants, week 1 of the exhibition season.
Feisty.
That's right. Kicks off on Thursday night, Fox 2 locally here in Detroit if you want to watch the game. The Lions and Giants playing in the joint practices today. Yesterday, we saw a lot of fights, a lot of pushing and shoving. Today, we saw more of it. I'm going to play for you this interaction between Malik Nabers and Terrion Arnold. I believe it's Terrion Arnold, right? And then all of a sudden, Kerby Joseph comes in. Take a look. And I understand that. I understand what happened yesterday at camp and all that stuff, all the pushing and shoving. I get that. This is dumb. This is flat out dumb. You cannot afford, if you're Kerby Joseph, to take a swing, break a hand, fracture a bone in your hand, be out 6 to 8 weeks punching at a helmet. You have to be able to keep your cool. That is not what we need right now if you're a Lions fan. We already have 2 major injuries this camp. You have to protect yourself. And I understand pushing and shoving and all that stuff, and you want to act all tough, and you're disrespected, and Malik Nabers probably deserved it when he was going back. He absolutely did. But your teammates don't deserve you breaking a hand, and you're out 6 to 8. I absolutely hate what happened today.
So I'll start by saying there's a way in which we fight. Shout out to Gibby. It's always good to see Kirk Gibson come in for a cut. We've been fighting in helmets for a very long time. It's not the smartest thing, but we know how to fight. When guys are throwing punches, guys aren't throwing closed fist straight on the helmet like they're throwing a hook in a boxing ring. It's more on the sides right here, kind of like in the palm wrist. It's fighting like that. But with that said, it is still stupid. It is dumb. But, Ryan, I got to come from the other side and got to come from the other place.
Please, absolutely.
Malik Nabers, you know they're chirping. He and Terry and Arnold, that's Alabama versus LSU. You know they've been going at it for the last 3 years. This is no different. Terry and Arnold shutting them down. And you're talking about a young rookie that's frustrated. He's on a team that he believes probably sucks. Talking about Malik Nabers. And then you got the gas artist. That's what Kerby Joseph is. He pours the gas on the fire. And I guarantee you, as he's walking back, that's why Terry and Arnold shut you down, blah, blah, blah. Some other stuff came out. Malik Nabers frustrated. He throws a punch. Here's where the situation starts. In the team that we are now, the defense that we are now, the secondary that we are now, we want to compare it to maybe the early onslaughts of the Legion of Boom in the sense that when they were young, when they were first coming up, they couldn't take any stuff. They said they were a thing. They got some traction as a thing, and they wanted to become that thing. They wanted to be physical. They didn't want to take any stuff. That's what we think the Detroit Lions are. That's what the league thinks the Detroit Lions are. So when you're the safety, who is always the protector of the cornerback, safety's got to protect the cornerback.
Mm-hmm.
That's just old school football rules. You come over there, you get popped, you're the big dog. Safety is the one that has to set the tone. He throws the punches. He tries to set the tone. Plus, you're frustrated from training camp because you can't fight like this when you're playing against Amon-Ra St. Brown. You can't punch Jamison Williams. You can't punch Sam Laporta. You're tired. You're frustrated, and you've been at this now for 2 weeks. This is taking it out on the whole of training camp. It's not the smartest thing, Ryan Ermanni, but here's what we see. Does this happen again? Here's what we see. This is a teachable moment. Dan Campbell can talk to those young guys. You don't respond. This is not the team we are. I've seen this happen 2 different ways. I've seen it happen where teams respond and you get the extra penalties. You become the team that's stupid. The penalties get enforced on you and you lose traction. Or I've seen teams do it the right way. The 49ers, the Legion of Boom in Seattle, they didn't get caught up in the back and forth and the shoving. So it's a good teachable moment for Dan Campbell in this young secondary.
A couple of things here. Mason Leach in the chat. Malik Nabers cheap shot at Kerby. You don't walk past and throw elbows on a jog by. Yes, there is another angle of this video that clearly shows Nabers kind of started this thing, and then Kerby went after him. Another post here. Ryan, you sound soft as hell. Here, and that's fine. You come at me all you want on that. Here's where I stand with the Detroit Lions. There's a little bit of a fear factor on my part too, because I think the only people that can stop the Detroit Lions from winning the NFC this year are the Detroit Lions. I absolutely believe the Detroit Lions are the only team out there in the NFC that could stop the Lions from winning the NFC and making it to the Super Bowl. And then you get to Super Bowl, you play, Cincinnati, Kansas City, Baltimore, all bets are off. May the best team win. You've already got 2 major injuries, and you've known you've got 2 major injuries when you hit the field today. Emmanuel Mosley went out yesterday. It was brought up this morning. John Kaminsky went out last week.
Yeah.
You get in these scrums, and you had a scrum yesterday. You come out of that with some 350-pound offensive lineman getting tossed aside, rolling up on somebody's ankle. Just the possibility of nothing good happening far outweigh the possibilities of anything good happening. And that's just kind of where I'm at. You are the team with everything to lose. The New York Giants have nothing to lose. At the end of this year, they're going to fire their quarterback, they're going to fire their general manager, and they're probably going to fire their coach.
Yeah.
This is an organization with 0 to lose. You have everything to lose. That's why I feel like, and to be quite frank with you, I'm a little disappointed in a Dan Campbell coach team that, especially after yesterday, you wouldn't be able to keep your cool a little bit better than now. And again, I saw the video too. I know Nabers did the whole elbow walk by first, but again, you gotta keep your cool in these situations, because you get in another scrum, somebody rolls up in an ankle, you're out 6 to 8 weeks or worse. And your season is on the line because of you don't want your manhood tested by the New York Giants in a joint practice.
Ryan, I absolutely appreciate where you're coming from. I appreciate 1,000 where you're coming from. And I don't mean this a disrespectful way. You and I are brothers having a conversation.
Sure.
That's coming from the space of a privileged fan. That's a privileged fan's way to be able to think, this is stupid, you don't do this. who are the best defenses in the NFL right now or over the last 10 years or so? You got the Ravens, maybe. You got the 49ers, the Eagles 2 years ago. They go to the Super Bowl. Those teams are aggressive. That's what we're trying to build here in Detroit. Detroit's defense has been the last laughingstock of the Detroit franchise. They got the offense together. They got the coaching staff together. They got the front office together. The defense minus a position or two, that's still the laughingstock of the Detroit Lions. You want to get more physical. It seemed like we were going that way with CJ GJ last year before he gets injured, and just in terms of the identity. They're trying to get tougher, Ryan. They're trying to get more aggressive. Baltimore, that doesn't get built on the field and being the nice guy and just tackling guys. It gets built in the offseason. It gets built with a swing here, a swing there. It gets built with a little bit of cheap shot here, maybe a little bit extra dirty. But, hey, you know what? It's the Steelers, who are another defense. It gets built over a while and over time, instances and things like this that they can pull back. Man, remember when Terry got in that little bit of smoke and Kerby ran up and had his back? So I agree, 100%. You don't want to see this. You don't want Terry and Arnold or Kerby to get hurt, break a hand, break a finger, knock on wood. That's not going to happen. But at the same time, you're trying to build a defense that teams are scared of. Teams weren't scared to come into Ford Field because of their defense. They were scared because their offense was a juggernaut. Now you want teams to get nervous when they play the Detroit Lions. You want them to get scared. They're trying to build a little bit of identity. And guys like Kerby Joseph, who are talking the talk, trying to walk the walk and show the young guys. It's stupid, but it's how you build, fear.
I could appreciate that.
Yeah.
Another aspect of this, and again, I did not see practice yesterday. I was not there. But if you followed, and again, take it for what it's worth, and I don't know how impartial the New York Giants beat writers are, but if you believed what the New York Giants beat writers were to say about yesterday's practice, Malik Nabers and the rest of the New York Giants wide receivers were torching the Lions defensive backs yesterday.
I heard that.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
So that leads me to believe Kerby Joseph's reaction also leads me to believe that you're getting cooked. You guys are getting cooked out there. You're so frustrated, and that's how you're reacting to what's happening on the field. That's another way that I kind of like, oh, maybe these guys are getting cooked out there without seeing it. And anybody can play one play on Twitter or something like that. Like, show me one play of somebody making a great play, and that's all great. But without the benefit of seeing what was happening out there, when I hear that the Giants receivers are doing their thing against the Detroit Lions, and outside of Nabers, I couldn't name you one New York Giants receiver, but they had a good day yesterday. So, I mean, maybe there was a little bit of frustration there, too, as part of it.
You know what? I'm going to hit you with something you won't be expecting. Pause. You're right. You're absolutely right. Look, I've done these joint team practices. I've done them in Michigan. You've done them in the NFL. I remember playing for Seattle. We did a joint team practice. We did a joint team practice with the Chiefs. I was getting my ass jammed up. It's training camp. Right? Ryan, it's hot. You're tired. It's doubles. You're getting jammed up. People laughing at you. That's how it is. It's among the brothers. You start a fight. Why not? You start a fight. You try to get the energy. You try to shift the narrative. You may jam me up on this field, but, we get to this fisticuffs. It's me and you. So, yes, you're absolutely right. This is what it is. It's frustration. But at least it was frustration on the play in which Terry Arnold shut down Malik Nabers, and then they got a little get back. Right. They got after it a little bit. They had some fun. Dan Campbell will calm these guys down, and they will know not to do that once the black and whites come out. And that's talking about the referees.
And again, maybe we blow this stuff up to, more than it should be. It is a Tuesday in early August, right? I mean, maybe we blow it up more than it should be. I just don't want anything bad to happen to one of these players for a reason that could be 100% preventable. That is a 100% preventable situation if an injury was the result of that kind of stuff. Joel?
And I was just going to say I agree with both of your points when you brought up the privileged fan perspective, and then also you don't want to see this because it's like, to your point, Ryan, it's like, it's something I've been saying for years, the toughest always die first. So it's like, you have to know certain situations you got to just let go by. Like, you're not really going to run face first into the fire in every single situation. Like, so if he's going to run by you and elbow you and, like, give you a nice little chuck, you in a football field. So to your point, Braylon, you're on a football field. You have a way to get back in a physical manner that's in the confines of football where you can feel, I guess, satisfied with what you do. You can give him a nice hard hit, maybe a little later than the play over, give him a nice like chuck, same back. Like you don't have to go to the point where, like you said, Ryan, where you throwing punches where you could risk hurting something or doing anything. Like you just have to know how to like control the aggression, basically.
The problem is Ryan's right about his point in terms of it's no need for it, and you would like to see more discipline because here I am. I'm 10 years removed from the game, and I'm seeing this situation with all the technology, with all the phones on the sideline, with everybody releasing all the information and all the video and all the footage. Like it's no longer a practice where you can practice. Some stuff happens, and the footage isn't released. You know that, so you're not gonna act a certain way because you don't need to. Nowadays, everybody knows that everything is coming out. Oh shoot,
pride.
What? Pride comes before the fall. Pride comes before the fall, and that's why I said Ryan's right. Because here I am, I'm like, I wouldn't let him like bump me on the way. I'm still gonna, I got something to say. But to your point, they know that people are watching. They know that the clip is getting out, and you ain't do nothing. My man bumped you. My man did this, that, and the third, and nothing happened. Like, shit, you ain't get active.
And obviously, look, in the heat of the moment, you do things you probably wouldn't do. Now, 45-year-old Ryan Ermanni, if I was in the middle of a bar fight, I would probably find a way to remove myself from the situation.
I got your back.
23-year-old Ryan Ermanni, I'm fisticuffs. Let's go. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's go at it. So, and again, long way to get to. Even if it's not a broken hand, the scrum that could lead to a rolled ankle or something like that, I just don't want to see it.
All right, but how about this? I'm gonna relate it to track.
Sure.
Now, this is what you want to see. You want to see Dan Campbell come back. Pete, I'm gonna ask you this question. You tell me, do you think this makes sense? In track, Ryan Ermanni, if you get a false start, you're still allowed to stay in that race. You're allowed to stay in that race, but the next false start is charged. That false start is charged to the field. So the next false start, anybody that does it, they're out of the race. And the next one, they're out of the race. It doesn't matter about that's your first time. No. There was already a false start. You already knew to be on your P's and Q's, and you chose to false start again. This is where Dan Campbell comes in. We've seen that. TMZ has seen that. Hell, the whole world is seeing this fight that has taken place in the last 2 days. This is your false start, Kerby. This is your false start. This false start is not for Kerby. This false start is for the whole defense. You saw what happened. You saw how stupid it was in terms of what could have happened. This is what Dan Campbell can tell his team. This is your false start to the field. You came away unscathed. Nobody's getting suspended. There are no injuries. But when the season starts, you false start again, there's going to be more than just the NFL that has problems with you.
Fair enough. And we'll get back to some Lions talk in just a little bit. We're going to pivot here and get to some Michigan football allegations. Coming up next, we'll be joined by Anthony Broome of On3 Sports. We'll do that next. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford has done by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. They offer the same great service that customers have come to know and trust. Located in Ferndale on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. And if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn, where they have been on Michigan Avenue for over 55 years. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Together, let's drive.
To Premier Pet, give your pet the best. Premier Pet Supply is hands down Michigan's best pet store. Same prices and all the conveniences of the online and big box realtors, with one major difference: family and locally owned and operated for over 30 years. Over 60 brands of food with nutrition experts there to help you. Same day, local curbside and home delivery. Premier Pet Supply, give your pet the best at premierpetsupply.com. We'll be right back.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Ham for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Ham for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by because there are more than 50 in Metro Detroit. At Planet Fitness, you will experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff, and total judgment-free atmosphere. You hear that? Total judgment-free atmosphere. And you know what the best thing about it? Planet Fitness has fitness that fits in your budget because Planet Fitness is home of your fitness is essential. Planet Fitness.
And the Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through the 25th at Warwick Hills. Great golf course, by the way. Leave the golf to the pros and don't miss the party at 17 $2 birdie beers, concerts, and more. Get your ticket at allychallenge.com. Brought to you by Randy Wise. And now more than ever, it's critical for you to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss Insurance will make sure your carrier is not slipping in those extra fees. Call Mark White at Swiss Insurance today at 313-530-1698 or visit SwissINS.com.
Yeah, I do have a comment on that. Never lie, never cheat.
It's on.
Never steal. I was raised with that lesson.
It's up. It's cranked.
I raised my family on that lesson. I have preached that lesson to the teams that I've coached. No one's perfect. If you stumble, you apologize, and you make it right. Today, I do not apologize. I did not participate, was not aware, nor complicit in those said allegations. So for me, it's back to work and attacking with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind.
Fascinating. And of course, with Jim Harbaugh, he does also face potentially being suspended half the season in the NFL. No, I'm kidding. Nothing is going to happen to him. He's long gone, and obviously nothing whatsoever will happen to him. Okay, Paul, I'm coming to you with the simplest of questions. Big deal? Not a big deal?
I don't think it's a big deal. And Greeny, I'm struggling to remember anything other than the fact that you had to stop your golf round yesterday because of lightning. But the point being here is this is all a continuation of a long, drawn-out story that in many people's eyes, probably other than the NCAA, is over. Let's not forget that Charlie Baker, the president of the NCAA, and this may sound out of context because it probably is, but after Michigan won the national championship, he said they won fair and square. I remember that, and I think a lot of lawyers are going to remember that too if this case goes very far and puts Michigan in the crosshairs. I think the reporting on this by Pete is fantastic, and I'm not trying to minimize it. But the point is that in the big picture of college athletics, nobody respects the NCAA. Nobody really cares about the NCAA. And there are a team of lawyers ready to drag this out and to threaten the NCAA if they dare do anything to Michigan other than a slap on the wrist.
That was Paul Finebaum yesterday. Earlier today on the Herd, Colin Cowherd says this is a witch hunt. And actually, I posted that on my X account. Tom Mars, who is Jim Harbaugh's attorney, quote tweeted that me and I
right
through Colin and says the NCAA is incapable of reading a room or adapting to change. Even when schools can hand out Lamborghinis to 18-year-olds like they're candy, the NCAA still can't resist the urge to vilify and punish an assistant football coach for helping a kid get his IG account verified. The NCAA is out for Michigan football. Let's bring in the great Anthony Broome, covers the Wolverines on 3. Anthony, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. It feels like every time I come on here, I'm talking about some kind of scandal or the continuation of a scandal. So
I know we got to be better.
But also,
we got to be better about that, Anthony. But we will get to some things that happened on the field. I just, I haven't had a chance to share my thoughts on this. I am so exhausted by this. And again, the NCAA, the president of the NCAA said last year that Michigan won this fair and square. Michigan beat Penn State, Ohio State, Iowa, Alabama, and Washington after this scandal was released. I'm not sure what more this university, this program has to do to put this behind them.
Keep winning? I don't know. I mean, it's a thing where I don't think the NCAA and a lot of these people in power or in charge of making a lot of these decisions are going to be happy until there is some kind of pound of flesh to pay. And again, I've maintained from the start, point me in the direction of the evidence of a smoking gun that, what was done or what was alleged had a tangible or even, slightly minimal impact on the outcomes of these games. And I haven't seen that. And the NCAA doesn't have that. So what we have now is you see the piling on of, Steve Klingscale helping a kid get verified. You have stuff about assistant coaches purchasing a meal. You have stuff about, whatever they call it, a pattern of non-compliance, which that's interesting too, because it's not like Michigan's people were refusing to hand over their devices. It's that, well, we're not going to hand our stuff right to you because you're not the police. You're not the FBI. We're happy to have a third party image it and send that to you. But that's non-compliance, I guess, when it pertains to, Sharon Moore's text messages and stuff. Like, I think those are going to come out and be pretty innocuous, to be honest with you.
And Anthony, just part of that non-compliance, even Tom Mars, who is Jim Harbaugh's attorney, tweeted out yesterday the email chain that he got from the NCAA that they wanted Harbaugh and his attorney to go through 62,000 emails in 24 hours. And
nonsense.
That's just an impossibility. And that was deemed non-compliant, even to the point of Sharon Moore and the deleting of 52 or 58 text messages in a string with Connor Stallions. Those text messages were recovered, none implicating anything that has to do with the actual sign-stealing scandal. It was just that he deleted them. Again, that doesn't implicate Sharon Moore. In fact, I think it makes Sharon Moore, it completely exonerates him, to be honest with you, that he didn't know. If there was no text messages because they were all recovered. They were all given to the NCAA, and not one smoking gun that there was correspondence about any sign-stealing investigation.
Well, yeah, and make no mistake about it. Like, immediately deleting text is probably, I understand why that would be red flagged, but deleted texts don't just disappear. Like, there's a way to get them. And, the non-compliance isn't that you just didn't hand it right over to the NCAA. I think that's a lot of when we hear non-compliance from other people involved in this case. When we hear, I've heard similar stuff about people who were interviewed up at CMU in terms of, it's not that they're thumbing their nose at the NCAA. It's that they're saying, I don't have to hand this to you. I have a right to have a third party image this and get the information you need. But, when the NCAA can be very invasive and look for things and find things that have nothing to do with your case, as we've seen with some of this other stuff that's gone on. So really what we're looking at is because there's not that smoking gun, they want to put all of these little micro transgressions into one pot and say, well, maybe you guys aren't guilty of this, but you have a history of being non-compliant or stubborn about all of this, and that's what they're going to try and hit them on. And I think that's where that's where we're at right now with all of it. So I don't know if the draft notice of allegations from ESPN, at least I don't know how recent it was. It could be one that was from earlier this summer. It could be one that's from a couple weeks ago. ESPN was forthright in saying that it's probably not the one that Michigan will ultimately receive, but you let that leak and get out because there's a documentary coming out in a few weeks that Connor Stallions helped create, had a hand in making, and it's going to be very pro him, pro Michigan. So this is, it's a public negotiation, which is, there's a lot of collateral damage in all of that, especially, when you're playing the game of telephone. So that's where we're at with it right now. And it's, I still, you even have Pete Thamel, who Michigan fans have certainly very familiar with his work and what he's done with ESPN. But he's even saying, like, vacating wins, not happening. Postseason ban, probably not happening. So I still think we're on the speeding freight train to a big fine, probation, and probably show causes for the people who, were kind of implicated, in terms of the Connor Stallions of the world. Maybe Chris Partridge gets something. Maybe Jim Harbaugh gets something. But if you're trying to punish Sharon Moore based on head coach responsibility, he wasn't the head coach when any of this alleged behavior happened. So I think that the idea he could be suspended is kind of ridiculous.
A bunch of nothing plus a bunch of nothing equals a bunch of nothing. And that's all they've been trying to point. They keep trying to find things. It's already nothing. They told you last year what the situation was. They told you last year Jim Harbaugh was clean. They told you last year Michigan, if the win happened, it was a clean national championship win. Just like you said, at the end of the day, this is just more throwing at the institution because nobody believes in the NCAA, like you said. So now they got to keep trying to get it to Michigan. They got to keep trying to throw Michigan's name in a negative light. Maybe it hurts recruiting. Maybe it hurts this. Maybe it hurts that. But it's not going to hurt Michigan moving forward. I think the words you said is a fine instilled to the university. I don't even think Sharon will have to miss a game or a game or two is what they're really trying to happen now. So it's just more of this nothing, this whole narrative that it's over. You're trying to reach out to an individual that is now coach of the NFL. Like it's nothing.
That's right. And Anthony, just moreover on this, how does Sharon Moore, this guy's dealt with so much at the start of a tenure. I mean, the Jim Harbaugh back and forth, losing all these players. You were, the head coach for
He's 3 games.
Two of the biggest games last year in Penn State and Ohio State. And how does he continue to really seemingly make the right move at each step along the way? Everything he's saying, this guy is pretty much passed with flying colors, every benchmark that has kind of been thrown his way, I feel like. How does he continue to do this?
I mean, it's one of the reasons why he was the guy for the job after Jim Harbaugh. I mean, everything that's been thrown this guy's way, he's handled, I think, well. I think he moves and acts with conviction. I think his players respect him. I think he's well prepared. And again, his legacy will also ultimately be determined by what happens on the field, not just this fall, but in the falls to come. But every time there's been some sort of plot twist, I've been impressed with the way he's handled it. And, this is why he is Michigan's head coach. This is why, it's one thing to, how many great coordinators, have been football X's and O's geniuses that you step in the big chair and it's too much for you to handle. I don't get the sense with that with Sharon Moore, especially, we talked to him a couple weeks ago on a segment we did on our show. We talked to him at Big Ten Media Days. Just he does kind of have like a bit of a gravitas and a presence about him that this is not too big for him. And, for people that want to take some of the stuff that came over the weekend as low-hanging fruit and why, he's ultimately doomed at Michigan. Like, if there was anything in these text messages that will come out that would have implicated it at all in terms of being involved in this, he's probably not Michigan's head coach today because they have tried to move past that. So I've been really impressed with the way he's handled the off the field stuff. I mean, almost having to flip your entire coaching staff from last year when you were supposed to be the hire that brought continuity and were kind of, just a bridge into the next era. I feel like when up against it, that's when he's done some of his best work, especially, again, on the field. I know that he didn't put in the game plans for Penn State, Ohio State. Jim Harbaugh was involved in that as well, but you just feel like it's not going to be too much for him, which I think that's a positive for Michigan, obviously.
I think what everybody overlooks, Anthony, and I myself am guilty of this. I think they didn't pay attention to the fact that Jim Harbaugh vetted Sherrone Moore over these past 4 or 5 years. He actually watched Sherrone Moore's growth. He chose Sherrone Moore for this job way before the University of Michigan did. He got him ready for this spot. He chose him. He knew that when he left to go to the NFL, he would be a damn good job. Jim Harbaugh is Michigan. He went to the University of Michigan. He came back to the University of Michigan. His family lives in Ann Arbor. Don't you think he will put his team in the best hands? I think that's what people like myself have to come to grips. You know what? Sherrone is the guy. Sherrone isn't the guy that got lucky last year in the Penn State and Ohio State, those games. This is a guy that was ready for the moment. I want to ask you a question, though. It's about what Jim Harbaugh said in his presser. I was a little annoyed, if it's a good word. Tell me I'm doing too much. I was a little annoyed at how he worded that. They asked him about the situation. I think he gave it too much life. I think he came in there kind of sounded rehearsed, which if you're just getting Johnny on the spot, it shouldn't have sounded rehearsed. He talked about never lie, never cheat, never steal, and then in the very same breath said people make mistakes, and then goes on to say that he didn't have any idea, he didn't have any knowledge, and goes on and on and on. Now I'm not apologizing. Jim, you're in the NFL. Like, it's over for you as it relates to the NCAA, Michigan, and what happened with Connor Stallions. Couldn't he just say, you know what, I dealt with that last year, NCAA exonerated us, it's on the Chargers football. I feel like it was too long.
I think I agree with that. Most of it anyways, just in terms of, everyone has fun with, he gets hired at his opening press conference and it's great. We're going to be Michigan West. I got coaches from my old staff. I got staffers from Ann Arbor. Like, it's going to be great. We want to be this Michigan pipeline to the NFL. On the same token, I don't know that kind of flipping the bird to the NCAA does Michigan any favors. It obviously, some might argue that behavior in the past, plays a part in why we're at where we're at today.
Very true.
For Jim Harbaugh in the NFL, like, you are in the NFL now. I think for him, and this is maybe where he's honest, at least in his own eyes, to a fault, where you're always going to know where you stand with him. And, he doesn't take kindly to being called a liar or a cheater. And again, ultimately, we'll see what history says about this whole situation. But I think for him, or at least, if I'm in his shoes, it's, listen, that's an active investigation at a place I no longer work. I'm focused on the Chargers. I could refer to all of my previous statements on it, and we'll just leave it at that, because he does have a long history of saying that they've done nothing wrong. So, but to kind of, the soundbite, rehashing all of that stuff, I don't think that's good for Michigan. So I think it would behoove him to kind of just leave it at that moving forward.
Talking to Anthony Broome, covers the Wolverines. You can follow that on X at the Wolverine on 3. That's their handle there. Hey, Anthony, I want to talk, if I could, a little bit about what's happening on the field right now. And obviously the most sexy topic with Michigan football is the quarterback position, and especially Alex Orji when he works out looks pretty good too. Some of those videos, my goodness. But
Wow.
Where does the pause, as Braylon says, where does the quarterback competition stand right now, and where do you think it will go?
Well, it's focused on 3 guys. It's Alex Orji, Jack Tuttle, and Davis Warren. Not necessarily in that order. I'll just lead with this. Like, they don't know who their starting quarterback is going to be yet. I think a lot of people think it's like they're guarding the nuclear launch codes and they have this secret plan that they're implementing. And there could be an aspect of that. I mean, if Alex Orji doesn't win the quarterback battle, we're going to see him play this year, at the very least in some kind of platoon role, like what J.J. McCarthy did with Cade McNamara in 2021. But, some of the, we've heard good things about all 3 guys. Tuttle, is your grizzled veteran who I think can run the offense. I think Orji, I think the best version of Michigan, what they can be this year, revolves around if he can just even adequately throw the ball. That just makes them that much more difficult to defend when you know that guy's capable of making plays with his arm. And Davis Warren, kind of quietly has had a really good offseason too. We've talked to a couple people in the know over the last several weeks, and including Alex Orji, who's basically said he's sort of teaching him how to throw the football. I mean, he's a student of the nitty gritty of how to make the right throws and the mechanics of it and all of that. So, and really, I mean, it was only a brief glimpse in the spring game, but Davis Warren was the best quarterback on the field that day. Jack Tuttle had been hurt in the spring. We didn't see him play in that game, but again, I think that the plan for them is, I think there's no question, like the light coming on for Alex Orji would be by far the biggest win for them because it means you have a true dual threat back there at quarterback. I think they can build something capable with the other guys, but Michigan's ceiling between being a 9 or 10 win team and being a team that gets back to the college football playoff and is able to make some noise kind of depends on, I think, what, Alex Orji can be. And it's scary because is he Jalen Milroe or is he going to be what Joe Milton ultimately became at Michigan during the COVID season? Like, I think both of those things are within the range of outcomes. So that's a long-winded way of me saying, I don't know who leads for this job. I don't think they know who leads for this job, but I've had a couple padded practices. I think over the next week or so, we're probably going to start seeing some separation as some more data comes in, but it is revolving around those three guys.
AB, and I heard you very clearly when you said that if Alex Orji is able to turn that light on, then he gives Michigan the best shot. He is. That's the best possible scenario. But I'm still going to ask this question. I came back my senior year because Matt Gutierrez, in my opinion, gave us the best chance to be Michigan and get a chance to go to the national championship. Matt Gutierrez tears his labrum. Chad Henne plays that freshman year. The rest is history. We still were Big Ten champs. When I ask this question, that's kind of the mindset I'm coming from. Does it matter who's quarterback? We know the catalyst for this team is the defense. Does it matter in the space of this season who's the guy at the helm?
I think it does, to reach the big goals. I think it does. I think they can be a very good football team and still make the playoff if Jack Tuttle is the quarterback or Davis Warren is the quarterback. From an infrastructure perspective, I mean, doesn't get much better than having Sharon Moore as your head coach, Kirk Campbell as your offensive coordinator. We know they'll have a good offensive line. We know they have good running backs. I think the world of them at wide receiver. Yeah. I think the top three, Colston Loveland, maybe best offensive weapon in all of football this year. We'll see. Certainly the best tight end. So for me, yeah, it's the infrastructure. I think the play calling, all of that stuff is going to be there. But something we take for granted because J.J. McCarthy made it look so easy is a defining trait of some of those wins late in the year was those third and longs, those gotta have it situations. He took care of the football and he made plays and he moved the chains. And not a whole lot of drives ended in punts either. So, the bar has been set and it's an extremely high bar. I think that they can kind of conjure up something that works regardless of who's out there. But it does matter who the quarterback is. But I think that they're pretty comfortable with what they have. So they're confident and maybe fans should be confident too.
Listening to you, I go back to my senior year, and you're absolutely correct because when we went into Notre Dame game 2, if it had been a more veteran quarterback, a quarterback that they trusted more, i.e. Matt Gutierrez, they would have opened up that game book, that playbook, and we'd have never lost that Notre Dame game, but we kept it very minimal because we didn't want to put too much on Chad. So to your point, you have the right guy in there, they'll be able to open that playbook up and do the most. I appreciate that, AB. Don't tell Chad I said that, though. Then we would beat Notre Dame.
Anthony, finally,
I think things worked out pretty well for Chad.
No doubt. Give me a thought here on Michigan football as a whole. First and foremost, how much better do you think they'll be towards the end of the season than they are in the beginning of the season? And can that defense help them along as the offense catches up perhaps a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, that defense is going to give them a shot to win every single game they play. That includes, when you host Oregon. That includes when you go to Ohio State. You're going to go out to Washington. You're going to play Texas in week 2. I could see, they are very steadfast in that, they're confident they'll play complementary football and it'll all work out. But I think the defense is going to have to carry them a little bit, at least early on in the year. And then I think things will settle down probably somewhere around the bye week, maybe a little sooner than that. Again, it's a baptism by fire this year. There is no 7-8 week run up to, playing a football team with a pulse. Texas is coming in week 2. Fresno State has been a capable team over the years. So, the mark of even the best teams Michigan has had, like there's that steady climb throughout the years. So I think they'll get better as the year goes on. Guys hit their stride. But again, it's that defense, not to the extent that like Iowa's defense has to go out and win them games, but I do think you're going to have to turn over some teams. I think you're probably going to have a couple pick sixes, a few scoop and scores here and there. But, as long as that works in tandem with what they have in the other 2 phases, I think this is going to be a pretty good football team. There's going to be a bit of a drop off. That's what happens when you move on from maybe the best team that Michigan has ever had. But the pieces are still there for them to be, nationally relevant and be right in every single game they play.
Hey, AB, we promised to let you go after this question. I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about the guy that shares the same last name as me, and that's Donovan Edwards. In a quick word, how good could he be with a young offensive line and a new quarterback?
I mean, I think he can do a ton to take heat off of both of those guys, the offensive line and the QB. What we've seen from Donovan is he's a guy that has usually been at his best when he has volume. Now, it's tough to get volume when you have Blake Corum in front of you because you're going to give that guy the football 25, 30 times a game, and he's going to be automatic on third downs. He's going to score touchdowns when you're close to the end zone. It's going to look a little different this year. I don't know that Donovan will be that guy, but I think you're going to see him, run a little better through contact. He's added, I think, about 10 pounds this year to kind of bulk himself up and stay a little more durable. He is going to be really good, especially catching the ball out of the backfield, but don't sleep on Khalil Mullings. Okay. I think he's going to be a 1B. This is a 1A, 1B situation. I think Michigan believes that. I think that's what they're gearing up for. And I think that this run game is going to keep them in the conversation.
I like
Anthony, we appreciate you, my friend. Thanks so much. We invite everybody to check out Anthony on X at Anthony Broome. And, of course, Anthony T. Broome. I knew I was missing a letter in there. Anthony T. Broome. And, of course, at the Wolverine on 3. Thanks so much, Anthony. We appreciate it, bud.
Thank you, fellas.
Go you Blue. Got it. And Braylon, when Michigan actually hits the field here and we see who the quarterback is and we see how this team plays football, it's going to be the same brand, same style of football. I mean, the formula is there before them. Now they just have to go out there and execute. And I do think they've got to figure out a way to, I do like one quarterback. Yeah. You know what I mean? They say if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any. I like just having the one. But early on, I mean, hey, if Tuttle needs to keep a steady hand until Alex comes along, great, fine. If Alex needs a little bit more seasoning, great, fine. You do have capable backups there, you know what I mean? Or capable players, not backups, capable players that can step in and do the job. And as Anthony said, defensively, they should be able to keep you in every game. You just got to be able to make 1 or 2 plays at the end of the game to win. And that's all you can ask for, I think, with a completely new kind of feeling, new quarterback, new coach, new running back, new offensive line, new everything.
Yeah, Sharon Moore has been here, you know what I'm saying? So I think people got to calm down a little bit. Look, Sharon will find the Lowry season. You say he need more season at quarterback. He's going to find that Lowry's because this has been the problem with Michigan since Jim Harbaugh got here, with the exception of 2 years of J.J. McCarthy. There's been a quarterback challenge at every year since Jim Harbaugh's first year, and Michigan's always seemed to make the best choice. Even the Cade McNamara, J.J. McCarthy year, I think they made the best decision because J.J. was a true freshman. Cade, and I think it worked out. They found the quarterback, and I think they will now. Sharon taking over 100% is the best move because he's been here since Jim has put the right Michigan team in place, talking about the last 3 years in terms of what it took to get them right in the strength and conditioning area, to get them right on offense, to get them physical on defense, and they've been just that. So I think they'll be fine. This isn't like a new coach. This isn't a guy coming from another institution, and now he's trying to put his spin on what he feels Michigan is. This isn't Kalen DeBoer going to Alabama. This isn't that. This is a guy that was already here, that coached games last year in major games, Penn State, Ohio State. We don't underscore that enough. And you talked about it. So what if Jim Harbaugh put together the game plan that week of practice? Sharon had to make those in-game decisions in November, the toughest stretch, so Michigan can prepare themselves for the national champion potential run. Joe.
I just wanted to ask you, you spoke on the fact that Michigan has had, like, I guess, a quarterback battle for most years. So I want to ask, like, would you be, I guess, would most Michigan fans be upset if Alex Orji is not the player that is going to be, or the quarterback that's going to be the starter, or really never see any time, and you end up going with one of the dudes that end up getting brought in, like Jack Tuttle or David Warren, and just given the hype that was surrounded around Alex Orji's name coming in?
Sometimes it just doesn't work out. Sometimes it doesn't work out. I mean, you look at the situation. Look at Joe Milton. Yeah. Just think of the hype that Joe Milton had coming out of Florida, same school as Devin Bush. Like, the hype was there for Joe Milton. This was supposed to be his Michigan, his team. He was supposed to be the wave of the future, and it just didn't work out. It happened for him later in Tennessee, but it didn't work here, and we moved on. Next man up, next situation up, Dylan McCaffrey. I mean, it took a while for Michigan to figure the quarterback spot out, but if it doesn't work, he's not some five-star quarterback that came out of a school that we were expecting to come here and do major things. JJ was that. Like, JJ IMG, five-star quarterback. We got him. That was major for us, and it panned out. Orji's not that. So if it doesn't, I haven't seen Orji do anything in any game that made me say, I cannot wait till he's the guy. So if it didn't work, you just have to figure it out. It'd just be a dead period, and you figure out the next spot.
It's a great question,
it's a hell of
Joel.
a question.
It's a great question, and I'll tell you, if you go back to previous quarterback controversies, I don't think we've ever been in a situation where, and this might be a little bit of an overstatement. In fact, it probably is. But I don't think that I've ever been more sure of a head coach playing the best player at every position than I am now. Sharon Moore is a national championship winning coach. This is his first year in being a head coach. He's not going to try to lose games.
Yeah.
He is going to go out there and play the player at quarterback, at running back, at left tackle, at linebacker, weak side linebacker, Mike linebacker. Yeah. He is going to play the players that give him and Michigan the best chance to win the game. And if that's Jack Tuttle, that's Jack Tuttle. Yeah. That's kind of where I'm on that. If Alex Orji isn't on the field a majority of the time, if he's not who we think he is, I will probably not have any other opinion about that other than Sharon Moore believes that the quarterback that gives this team the best chance to win the game is somebody other than, maybe it's Davis Warren. I just don't know until I know too. But I have confidence that Sharon Moore will put the best player out there.
This is Michigan, okay? This isn't insert small school. This isn't Purdue where you can go bet a long shot. Hey, if we take this quarterback, if we put him out there, if we put him in the right system, a lot of ifs, and if they happen, then he can have some success. Right. We ain't betting on long shots at Michigan. No long shots. This is Michigan. You're taking over a program that is the elite. They're the tops of the tops right now. You got to put the short thing in there, whatever version of that is in Ann Arbor right now. That's who Sharon Moore found.
Bray, let me say this too. Even back to the Tom Brady, Drew Henson thing. Okay, I mean, there were a lot of us, me included, and I love Lloyd Carr.
I thought Drew was the guy.
I love Lloyd Carr, but I think Lloyd Carr did a lot on that team because he felt he had to.
Yeah,
I'm not sure he did what he had to do to put the best player out there. I think he was trying to make a lot of people happy because there were a lot of promises that were made.
Yeah.
I don't think Sharon is beholden to any promise that he's made any player to be on the field. Rich Rodriguez, same way. Brady Hoke, same way. And quite frankly, it wasn't until year 6 of Jim Harbaugh that he had 2 quarterbacks to choose from. Yeah. I mean, it was just like, here it is. You know what I mean? Here's the quarterback. He got nobody behind him, so here you go.
Good luck.
Right.
Good luck.
He really didn't have, a controversy per se until it was, JJ and not Tate Forcier, but what's the guy's name?
Cade
Iowa?
McNamara.
Cade McNamara.
Whatever happened to Shea Patterson? Like, was
He plays for the Panthers.
He played for the Michigan Panthers.
He played for the
he did?
Panthers
Wow.
year one.
Yeah.
Congrats to him.
That's right.
Nah, it was record was trash.
All right, guys. Hey, we're well into the top of the hour here. I'm going to take a break. We'll come back. More Lions news today. Dan Campbell, you'll hear from the coach about who's going to play on Thursday night in the exhibition opener. All that and so much more. But first, a message from KDK Law. That's right. Dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, other family law issues. Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham will have your back. 10-plus years of experience, 24/7 availability. Scan the QR code on your screen right there. Or you can call 248-971-0476. 248-971-0476. Say Woodward Sports sent you, and KDK will pay your filing fee. KDK Law, they got your back.
Out in front of your house tells the bad guys one thing.
They are.
Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, and technology backed by people. This technology has been proven to work, and these people have been proven to care, so call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you. We'll be right back.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Ham for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
Oh, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Any Lady Jane's haircuts for men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's haircuts for men, it's wicked awesome.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Right now, if you're dreaming of a new home but feeling a financial pinch, Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his associates and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White and Associates today, 248-290-8242, or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Over to the great Ryan Ermanni.
Oh, keep talking, Pete. Keep talking. Hey, awesome is when I guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Stop in, sit back, relax. Let one of Lady Jane's talented stylists make you look and feel great. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Wicked. Ryan, you know who I golfed with yesterday?
Who's that?
Mark White.
Look at that.
Played with Mark White yesterday, man. He's a super, super, super nice guy, man. Woodward Sports, they partner with some good brands. Everybody I've met so far with the partnership, whether it's Les Stanford, whether it's now Mark White. Good people, man. And I see P has on Soroki's shirt. Shout out to Soroki.
Speaking of, guess who I saw this weekend?
Who did you see?
Chad Johnson.
You saw Chad?
Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. So
I thought he was a myth.
And Woodward Sports. So I'm in Charlevoix, Michigan this weekend.
Okay.
And I got a text, and it was about next week. Chad was going to come to town maybe next week or whatever.
Okay.
Week after. And he said, I'm flying up to Charlevoix, Michigan. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I was like, where you? He had never been before. He's like a friend of a friend or whatever. So he's staying up there. And I was like, dude, I'm literally 5 minutes from you. So I took the jet ski over to where he was staying across the lake.
Okay.
And I said, I didn't even get off the jet ski, but, talked to him on the dock and gave him a wave. And it was good to see him. So small world, man.
That's what's up, man. He was up in Charlotte. Charlotte is a beautiful place, man.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful place.
Absolutely. Guys, I want to get some Lions news right now. So, sorry, I'm losing my voice a little bit. Dan Campbell talked earlier today about what the plan is for Thursday. Most starters will not play. Jared Goff will not play in this one, he says.
I've got a little bit of an idea. I've got a little bit, certainly, some of the guys we know we're gonna count on during the season. I don't see them necessarily playing, and if they do, not very many reps. But our young guys are going to get a lot of these, and developmental players are going to get a ton of these reps.
Is LaPorta out again?
Yes, he is. Yep.
Jared Goff is going to play in the opener.
I don't see Goff playing in this one. Yep.
Goff not going to play in this one, but a lot of the young guys, a lot of the developmental guys, and I don't know what that means for Rakestraw and Arnold or anything like that, but I would like to see those two players specifically because, again, this is an area of need for the Detroit Lions. It's a huge weakness for this team a year ago. If they can improve even a little bit, this will be a much improved defense. And if you believe what you're hearing out of joint practices so far, this secondary is not performing greatly so far. And again, there's a long way to go. This is practice. These are rookies. These are veterans on a new team like Carlton Davis and Amik Robertson and stuff like that. But nonetheless, you do have to get some chemistry about you. That will come in time. But Braylon, that's definitely an area I'd like to see on Thursday.
Yeah, those young guys will play, as you said, the young guys and the developmental guys. The developmental guys are the Josh Pascals of the world, the guys, Justin Houston, those guys that can play, but you're trying to see how good are they going to be, where they make their niche. Are they on the second team? Are they backing up the third team? So you want to get those guys some of these game reps. And now your young guys that just got drafted, Ennis Rakestraw, Terry and Arnold, those guys are going to play. They'll get them some reps. They'll get them a couple series because you want to see what it's like to consistently play against other people, not just your wide receivers. That's what happened. When they've been going against Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams and shout out to Tom Kennedy.
Sure.
Shout out to Tom Kennedy. But when you've been going against these guys for 2 weeks, Ryan, you get to know them. You know where guys going. You know how a guy breaks. You know how a guy starts at the line of scrimmage. When you see new players, it's new information. You process it differently, and that's when you get cooked because you're used to watching J-Mo. You're used to watching this. Now Malik Nabers hit you with something that you haven't seen. So it's good to get those reps in the preseason. They'll get some of those. But Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Penei Sewells, the guys like that, if you're not going to play them in game 1, if you're not going to play them in game 2, then why the hell would you play them in game 3? And the Detroit Lions are among 4 or 5 teams that I would feel comfortable with if they didn't play their players all season. It's because they hit in practice. It's because Dan Campbell knows when to turn it up, knows when to turn it down. So why see Jared Goff? Why see Penei? Why even waste your time with game 3 when the next game is the big dance?
Got to give a shout out to one of the great Woodward Sports listeners, watchers as well, Tyler Burke.
Okay.
I ran into Tyler Burke in Charlevoix this weekend too. the best restaurant in Charlevoix, the Argonne House.
Right downtown or off the water?
It's not. It's off of Boyne City Road there.
Okay.
The Argonne House. Shout out to you, Tyler. Great to see you. Awesome. We so appreciate your support up there in Charlevoix and everything you do for the network. Huge fans of you as well. I wanted to give him a shout out because it was great to meet him and interact with Woodward Sports listeners up there as well. So I wanted to give Tyler a shout out.
Appreciate you, Tyler. Yeah. Maybe we'll have to go to Belvedere. That's the golf course up there.
Ooh, look at that.
I love Belvedere.
And I told Tyler, next time you come down here, come visit us here at the station. We'd love to show you around. Good job, Tyler.
Get your coffee.
That's right. Now, another person, this could be the most highly anticipated preseason game, exhibition game in years.
Yeah.
Because of Hendon Hooker. And I don't know what the plan is for
Hendon Hooker. I see quarterback 3.
I don't know.
Maybe
he's got to earn it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
Should be the guy. He should be 2 right now.
Right. But I'm curious I don't know what the plan is for Hendon Hooker. I anticipate he plays. I anticipate he plays a significant amount of time. I want to see what this kid can do. I just got to see. I think I know what he can do, but I got to get a glimpse of him.
I'm going to ask you and I'm going to ask Joe the same question. Do you want to see him look like he looked at Tennessee before he tore his ACL?
Yes,
or do you want to see him look average?
No.
So you don't have to.
No, I want to see him look like what would have been the number 1 pick of the draft.
So then that starts the clock, and then that puts Jared Goff on. All right.
Jared Goff is going nowhere.
Okay.
But again, that could be such an important chip for you. It is insurance for Jared Goff. And again, you never know what roads will lead.
Yeah.
If everybody else sees that he sucks too, you get nothing for him. If everybody else sees that he's great, wow, you could have your starting quarterback next year just pony up a couple of 1s and a couple of 2s.
That's smart.
You know what I mean?
That's smart.
So I want to see him look great.
Yeah, no. Even if he does look great, I don't think it's gonna even bring up any sort of question of who this team's number 1 quarterback is gonna be. So I just hope to see that he can go out there and, I guess, not look terrible. That's basically just put the ball where it needs to be. Just come in, show that he could be a system quarterback. Just fall in line, basically. That's more so what I would want to see. Follow the same sort of offense. Obviously not going to be the same players, but the same style of offense. Can you follow that? Can you put the throws where they need to be? And then from there, I'll know, all right, he could be quarterback too. But if he come out there looking terrible, then I was never one of those people that truly believe that Hendon Hooker should just be given the number 2 job. So if he come out there and look terrible, then it's a quarterback battle for the number 2. So
I want him to look great, and I want him to look great. This is why I want him to look great, because then in games that are over, in games that are out of reach, you put Hendon Hooker in there. You give him some time, you give him some minutes, and not just in handing the ball up situations. You put him in situations where you show what he can do, because the more he looks good, the more you show what he can do. Now he becomes a bargaining chip later in the career. Next year. You saw what he did this year. The following year, you see more, and you'll be able to get a little bit more. Or if something, God forbid, then you got a guy that you trust. And you see, I couldn't even finish that sentence.
And again, for Hendon Hooker too, Hendon Hooker's a pocket passer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The system.
Yeah, it is. And if there is, if there's anything you can do down near the goal line, if there's a wrinkle, if anybody could find a wrinkle to insert playmakers, it's Ben Johnson. Right? Wouldn't that be something to get Hendon Hooker out there on the field with Jared Goff?
Another question that came out, and the reason I was asking this, because I've been so on the side of the Donovan Peoples-Jones move. It's a good move. They bought him in. They re-signed him back. They believe in him. They have faith in him. He's here from Michigan. You saw what he did in Cleveland when he got the opportunity. He's like wide receiver 6 right now. I think.
Yes.
Yeah, you saw, all right. He's like wide receiver 6 or 7 right now.
Who's ahead of him? I saw
6 people are ahead of him.
And again, I'm not trying
Darius
to
Fountain.
freak. That's
and who the hell is Darius Fountain?
No, they say he's been going crazy.
Darius Fountain.
Darius Fountain. I know that, but
hey,
out of
that's
where?
the way the game go.
True, but I'm just more so like
Tom Kennedy.
Tom Kennedy's ahead of him.
Our own Cooper Kupp.
He said our own Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp looks good.
No, that's more of our own Wes Welker.
Yeah, so I'm just interested to see what's going to happen with that, because when you start looking at a guy, Ryan, who's 7th on the depth chart, and here this is his 6th season in NFL, 7th season in NFL, he's going to be playing in these preseason games.
That's right.
Games, year 7, year 6, you shouldn't be playing a preseason game. So he's on the verge of what.
He's one of those.
No doubt.
Yeah, he's a bubble cut player.
There you go. Mr. Detroit City. Want to give a shout out to his brother Joe. It was his birthday yesterday.
Shout out, happy birthday, Joe.
Apparently he's a big Michigan fan, so for Braylon Edwards to give him a happy birthday, that's pretty good stuff.
All right, man. Happy birthday, Joe. Go Blue. You see what it is.
That's what it is. You see what it is, Joe.
I know what it is.
Good job, Mr. Detroit City. We appreciate everybody that's listening and watching Woodward Sports. We can't thank you enough. We're gearing up for football season here. When Labor Day hits, it is go time here at Woodward Sports.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. And nobody will do this better than us here at Woodward Sports.
We're committed.
Absolutely.
We're committed.
My goodness. Guys, we're going to get a break. New rumors involving Brandon Ayuk, where he potentially could be on the move, too.
I got thoughts on that.
We'll do that next, but first a message from Wake Up Woodward.
All right. Wake up Woodward. Start your day with Wake Up Woodward, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10, live on Woodward Sports. Join Kool-Aid, Flannel, Sam, Broder, JB, KG, and Juices every morning as they cover all Detroit sports, talk, banter, and live fan interaction. All on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
Hey, Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Crispy Chicken and Pizza are what they're known for, talking about Soroki's. And oh, by the way, don't forget the biscuits. But now for a limited time, the Nashville Hot is here to talk about the pizza, the wings, the chicken tenders, and the chicken tender sandwich. Got about the fries as well. Spicy though, gotta warn you, it is spicy, so you may want to take your time with that. But if that's not your speed, they do have fresh sides and salads. Cherokee is all around metropolitan Detroit, and they are doing their thing. Pull up on them. Cherokee is fresh and it's delicious. There they are.
There you go. Hey, gang, hit that like button for us. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button. Tell a friend about Woodward Sports. We're having a lot of fun. And again, leading up to football season here. And after Labor Day, this network is going to be on fire.
It's go time, man.
Let's go.
I'm excited. Let's go to Michigan season's around the corner. The Lions.
I wanted to go around the NFL, Braylon, a little bit. One of the big topics this entire offseason leading into even today is Brandon Ayuk and his status with the San Francisco 49ers. He wants out. San Francisco has said they are not trading him. They have engaged in talks with the Cleveland Browns, the New England Patriots, the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was thought that the Steelers conversation was out, but they have re-engaged in conversations earlier today. Brandon Ayuk, 49ers, Steelers in talks. Nothing going on as of yet. But the mere fact that there are 3 organizations right now having serious conversations with the 49ers leads me to believe that he's not going to be with that team any longer. Twofold question. 1, what effect does that have on the 49ers? And 2, if you're Ayuk, where do you want to go? New England, Cleveland, or Pittsburgh?
I was gonna phrase this in such a way.
Go ahead. Do what you were gonna say first.
Both are idiots. Both teams are idiots, and both parties in this situation, Ryan and Marty, are idiots. Brandon Ayuk is an idiot, and then the San Francisco 49ers are idiots. We know what the holdup is money-wise. Trent Williams, the best offensive lineman in the NFL. I love Penei Sewell to death. He's closing in. Trent Williams is still the best offensive lineman in football. He needs to sign a contract. He's holding out. This is a guy that protects who? Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's contract is due next year. So this is why they're trying to get that $30 million to $31 million, and this is why they leaked it. Whenever you see deals that are already leaked that haven't happened yet, that's the team leaking the deal because they want you to know what they're offering. They're like, hey, look, we offering this dude $31 million already, but he's not taking it. Trying to paint themselves as the good guy. If they would have taken care of the deal in the offseason, if they would have at least talked to Brandon Ayuk in the offseason, in March, in April, and say, hey, look, this is what it is. This is what's coming on. We want to take care of you. Like another team, the Detroit Lions, when they had the situation with Taylor Decker. Taylor Decker was able to then, Dan Campbell came to me, talked to him like a man, said there's something in the process. We want to see how this goes, and then we'll get back to you, much like they did. If they would have talked to him, I guarantee the conversation would have been different. But when you just put it off, when you put it off until the 13th hour, when you act like, or the 25th hour, when you act like you don't care, and then you realize you need him, and then you realize this guy was serious, and now you try to throw money, now he's not going to take the deal that he should take. Because, Ryan, when you tell me the Pittsburgh Steelers, why the hell would I want to leave San Francisco to play for Pittsburgh in this current climate? Why the hell would I risk potentially playing for the New England Patriots in this climate, leaving the San Francisco 49ers? So if I'm Brandon Ayuk, not a good move to want to go play for either one of those teams for a little bit more money. I would stay put because much more comes when you win. And in the 49ers, you should have talked to this man and paid him early on in the offseason. You know why? Just like I keep saying, NFC, the 49ers are not the team that scares me. They're not the same team as last year. I think they lost a lot in the offseason that people don't want to talk about. Now you're going to lose your downfield playmaker. I didn't see Deebo Samuel going out catching 9 routes, going down the field, burning people, scaring people with the vertical threat. That ain't Deebo Samuel. Now you're going to let the guy go that scares you downfield, that scores your touchdowns, who's 17.9 yards a catch. Help your offense because your offense and your team is chipping away at their chance to win the Super Bowl. You get rid of Ayuk, that Super Bowl window has officially closed. So I think both parties are dumb. Brandon Ayuk should sign a contract because you want to be with a winner. You want to experience winning, especially when you got a quarterback. You got a guy that's proven and he's coming up. And then the 49ers are dumb because they should have been paying him, got this over with. That's why the Lions are doing things the way they're doing things, so you don't have these complications this close to the football season. You can't tell me that this team is on the same page. You can't tell me that this team
I don't think it
is ready to start the season and kick some you-know-what.
The Ayuk thing is interesting because he is in his fifth-year option.
Yeah.
So San Francisco doesn't have to.
They don't.
They don't.
But that's just the way things go nowadays.
Right. No, I agree with you. But if you're San Francisco, who are you going to pay? You got to pay Purdy. You've paid Bosa. You got to pay Williams.
Yeah.
You paid Debo. You paid McCaffrey. And paid one other player defensively. Fred Warner. That's 7 guys.
But they offered him a contract worth up to $30 million a year. Like, listen, at the end of the day, Brandon Ayuk is a really good offensive player. He's a really good wide receiver.
I didn't see that contract offer.
Oh, like
maybe that's my problem.
Oh no, because it hasn't officially came out from their side, but it's been leaked in terms of. That's what I was kind of saying. It's been leaked by.
Well, if he's $30 million a year, then he's dumb.
And that's where I'm at with it. And that's where I'm at with it.
If that's $32 million a year, that's $30 million a year. That's dumb because my whole thing about Ayuk is this: I completely understand when you see the amount of money being thrown at wide receivers these days. You want yours. Yours isn't going to happen in San Francisco because of all the people that I said and I didn't even mention Kittle.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, you're never going to have the numbers that you believe maybe will put you up there with the upper echelon wide receivers in the game because Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, you're not.
Nope.
You're not even option number 4, maybe.
You're not. You're right.
Maybe 4.
Those players command more attention. I think if you look at the top 100, all those players were ranked above Brandon.
So what I'm saying is you want to go somewhere that you can put up this gaudy number.
This is true. This is 100% true. But at the end of the day, this is the place. $30 million. If you take this deal, $30 million. The reason why San Francisco is idiot is because you know why he wants more money? Who just got paid? And Brandon Ayuk had a better season than DJ Moore. DJ Moore just got paid $28.5 and $29 million. He just got broke off. So if DJ Moore got paid that money and I'm Brandon Ayuk, then yes, I want my 30 or yes, I want more.
Right.
But you didn't have to wait until DJ Moore got paid. If you would have took care of him in the offseason, if you would have had this conversation in the offseason, the other side of it, though, and the other reason why San Francisco, they're kind of under the gun. Everybody you just named, when you think about it, who's been hurt for the 49ers over the last 2 years? Deebo Samuel, he's injured every other game. Christian McCaffrey, how many games has he missed in the last 2 years? George Kittle, how many games has he missed? Brandon Ayuk is the only player in that offense that's one of their weapons, if you will, that's not injured. He plays every game. So that's something you got to look at the 49ers. Do you trust your squad or do you trust this new rookie wide receiver with an offense that a lot of guys get injured on, including Trent Williams? Joe.
So I was just gonna say the $30 million. I never heard that. So if that's the case, this young Debo only makes 23.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
I was just gonna say to your point too, Ryan. I was gonna say how you just said DJ Moore got a contract, so Brandon Ayuk was looking to get one. Those are two totally different situations. DJ Moore put up the stats. He put up 1,364 yards on the Bears. Like he's the only really option. Like. They force feeding him the ball. I'm watching the Redskins game. He taking the game over by himself. It's like Brandon Ayuk doesn't really. When you watched him on the 49ers, you saw him like, oh, he's working well in the system. Like they're putting him in spots, and his athletic ability is allowing him to flourish in those spots. I don't think if Brandon Ayuk would have been on the Bears, I think Brandon Ayuk probably wouldn't even had 1,000 yards. So teams are seeing he's not really work anywhere close to $30 million.
I agree with you, but I'm not coming from the space of what I believe he should have. I'm coming from the space of where we're at. This is just what the market is. This is just what it is. You look at the numbers last year, Brandon Ayuk's numbers, 1,347, 8 touchdowns, 17.9 yards a catch. His numbers are his numbers.
Yeah.
Like 100% his numbers are his numbers. And in this league, when you have those type of numbers with that size, it's some things that he does that you can't take into account. The way in which he blocks. There's a lot of time he's clearing that edge, much like you see J-Mo and Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's doing it, and Christian McCaffrey's coming right off his you-know-what on the sideline scoring touchdowns. So I think there's a lot that he does, but this is the system for him. And this goes back to what I said with Ryan. I don't understand sometimes. Sometimes guys think that the grass is greener on the other side. And you're like, hey, you know what? I want to go here. I want to get my $30 million. $30 million in Buffalo is not $28 million in San Fran when you balling at this level. Like, you guys are going for the champ. You guys are going for the Super Bowl every year. Like, you're going to get to the team. Pittsburgh and the Patriots in this current climate, and you can
what you said, the Browns too?
Yeah, Browns are involved in this too. And that's where I was going to ask this next question, Bray. Where are you at with the Browns this year? Because this feels like and again, it feels like to me it's a make or break for Deshaun Watson. And again, he's going to be the quarterback next year regardless because of what they're paying him. I mean, it's a fully guaranteed contract. He's not going anywhere. I don't anticipate him going anywhere. But he's got to play better football this year.
I don't know what to think of the Cleveland Browns. And this is not a joke. I know I have a lot of jokes about Cleveland always, and trust me, I'm going to have a lot more in the future. It just is what it is. If you told me, Ryan, that you had the coach of the year, the defensive player of the year, the comeback player of the year, that's what I already said, the comeback player of the year, defensive MVP, coach of the year, and they had something else. And they had one of the best defenses in the league. They had all these numbers, all these stats, all these awards, and they got popped in the first round of the playoffs to C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans, who had a pretty good year last year. I don't know what to make of him. And now Flacco is coming back. He's got paid, but he's not there anymore. Now Deshaun Watson's coming back. Deshaun Watson's supposed to be the guy. Deshaun Watson hasn't looked the same since all hit the fan, and he got to Cleveland. By the way, he's still the highest paid player ever because he still is the only one with the $245 guarantee. Fully guaranteed. It's still tops. Browns are idiots. But anyway, I don't know what to think because I don't know where Deshaun Watson is when he came back. Last year was a flukish year, Ryan. Remember some games he took himself out of, Pete. He took himself out of the game. He chose not to play. I think he took himself off. He took himself out of a game. Then a couple of weeks later, took himself out of the starting rotation and said he's not ready and had to fill the role. Joe Flacco takes over, and the rest is history. His mental can't be right. Like, I know he was not found guilty, but at the same time, he's trying to settle our coat and do these things. His mental has not been the same since that situation started, and I don't know if you can ever get that back. Now he's injured. It's going to be interesting. The first 4 weeks of the season to tell the story for he and the Browns.
I feel like the Browns are a team that I could see make it to the Super Bowl and lose 10 games this year. Like,
come on late?
No, I mean, what I'm saying is, like, I could see them be good and I could see them be bad. I could see them lose double-digit games and I could see them win the AFC. The defense is one of the best in the league.
Yeah, it is.
The run game is one of the best in the league.
Yeah, it is.
What it boils down to is how good Deshaun Watson can play. I mean, they made it to the playoffs last year with Joe Flacco as their quarterback. And this isn't the Super Bowl winning quarterback, Joe Flacco. This is sitting on your couch, Joe Flacco.
Breaking the leaves.
For months, Joe Flacco, who came in and performed.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
So imagine if you get anything out of Watson that resembles close to the player. He was a top 4 quarterback just 3 or 4 years ago. Top 4.
He was on his way. That season. Yeah, that season you can arguably say he had a better season than Mahomes that year. His last year with the Houston Texans, because I can't tell you his wide receiver staff, like, they were all injured. Everybody was injured. D-Hop had left and gone to Arizona. So, but it's going to be interesting, man. As you say, they got players, man. They had Nick Chubb comes back. Offensive line is one of the best in the, if not top 3 offensive line in the league. You look at their wide receivers; they have weapons now to help Amari Cooper. And Njoku really came into his own last year as a tight end in this league. He's one of the best tight ends in this league last year. So he's got the weapons, and the defense is going to give him opportunity after opportunity. How bad does Deshaun Watson want to return back to form that he had in Houston?
Guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll go around the NFL, more around the NFL. Also, Hard Knocks starts tonight. You going to be watching? What are you going to be watching for? We'll get to that next. But first, a message from Braylon Edwards.
That is right. The Boys and Girls Club, 3C Sports Southeastern Michigan. I told you guys I was a member there back in the day. I just want to read it to make sure I get it right, because now is your chance to register. You register at bgcsm.org, bgcsm.org. All coaches, all cheerleaders, everybody is vetted. The trainers are vetted. The coaches are vetted. So you can feel safe that your kid is safe. 5 to 14 are the ages. Summer's almost over, but it's not too late to sign up. This is where it's happening. And remember, these kids are getting a chance to play in Ford Field for the championship. That's all it takes. bgcsm.org.
And then after you sign your kids up for Boys and Girls Club, get you some new new Woodward sports merch. It's a new era in sports wearables, new designs and amazing apparel, the ultimate swag. Check out Woodward Sports' latest gear at woodwardsports.com and click shop. Hoodies, tees, hats, guaranteed to turn heads, like Boot 'em Kids merch. We even got to throw in some
Boot 'em Kids.
We even got to throw in some B&L.
Come on,
maybe.
Joel,
we
let's
probably got to
go.
do some B&L. But get the latest designs today at woodwardsports.com and click shop. Boot 'em Kids.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around. Who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of. And guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Any Lady Jane's haircuts for men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's haircuts for men, it's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
I know how I would answer this question. How would you like to play the University of Michigan golf course with Braylon Edwards? Well, you can. It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Register today, and you could round off our foursome at woodwardsports.com or scan the code on the screen right there above my head. And when it comes to your next car or truck, it's the Wise decision, Randy Wise Automotive. Also, attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine.
Sorry, dude.
Lots of stories. No, I love it.
I love it.
Story times with Dr. Pierce. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and Thursdays during Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to help you keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9942. Now it's Ryan Ermanni on stage one.
Why did I think of Coming to America when you said
Oh, man.
So I golfed with Dr. Jeff Pierce yesterday. He played in the group. The foursome in front of me, it was he, his daughter, his son, and a ringer, his older daughter.
A ringer.
Because like if you play with girls that can play in those outings or women that can play, excuse me, 100%, because they're gonna hit the ball from the women's tees. They're gonna smack it down the middle. You got 30 yards out. Like you're looking at a birdie every opportunity, which they were. But I got a chance to see him play. Like I've been waiting to see Doc play golf. I just knew Doc could play.
He could play?
What? No. Doc can slice one on the left when his first shot to get there. It's a par 3. And he slices one way left, and he says I was talking in his backswing.
Oh, my God. So he got another one.
So I'm like, all right. So then here's another one. He slices it to the right. It goes down underneath the sand trap. I get up there, hit one out there about 172. Just a little bit off the green onto the fringe. Probably my best shot of the day, but hey, when the pressure's on. And then I chipped within 2 feet. So we got a par. I was like, I thought you could play. I was expecting you to teach me. Oh, well, you were talking in my backswing. Excuses are like, what? Everybody's got one.
That's right. Guys, Hard Knocks tonight. Hard Knocks Chicago Bears. Training camp with the Chicago Bears. Part 1 of 5 airs tonight. 5-hour-long episodes, and this is the first time the Chicago Bears have been on Hard Knocks, 9 o'clock on HBO and Max. I'm intrigued by this for a lot of reasons. One, because Chicago is one of the preeminent franchises, I think, in the NFL. They're in our division. Caleb Williams is talked about so much. Maybe it's a little bit better chance to get to know who he is, what drives him. Maybe I'll like him after this. Maybe I'll hate him more. You know what I mean? You have no idea.
You're right.
But right.
Yeah.
But I am intrigued, and I do think sans the last episode of the Giants Hard Knocks off season completely reset the stage for this show. That's how good Hard Knocks off season was. So I've got a renewed vigor for what Hard Knocks is.
Yeah, I appreciate you and Maz being kind of like the test dummies on that new Hard Knocks, because you guys said it was really good, and everybody I know said it was really good, so I gave it a little bit of a chance. I did like it, but I'm very intrigued about this one. You're talking about the first pick overall, Caleb Williams. It's interesting right now, Ryan. I think men getting their nails painted is a hot thing right now, and I don't understand the trend. So
Dwayne Wade wants to start a new line.
And that's what I'm talking about. Dwayne Wade, Noah Lyles, the whole thing. Noah won, fair and square, so it is what it is. But Caleb, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how his team responds to him. It'll be interesting to see what type of leader it is, because you're hearing some things out of camp right now that he's got. He cares about things outside of just football. I think he was talking about cleaning up janitorial services, helping those out, the equipment managers. So you're hearing some good things about him. They got a lot of studs on their team in terms of guys that can make plays. You look at Keenan Allen. This is it's a second chance city for him. This is a chance for him to potentially get to the playoffs. DJ Moore just got paid.
Forgot about Keenan Allen.
100%. DeAndre Swift is a guy we know all too well here in the city of Detroit. Interested to see what that looks like. Jalen Johnson came out and actually just made a comment about Aaron Rodgers being on the top 100 and him not being a top 100 player. He said he made All-Pro last year, just got paid in the offseason, and he wasn't on the top 100. And he made a comment about it. He didn't like it. I think he should use that as fuel and maybe not say anything out loud, but, hey, that's the era we live in. So it'd be good to see the energy there. And that defense is cool. And also, they don't have an offense. They don't have a GM and a head coach that were hired by each other. It's another situation, kind of like here with Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, and they had to figure out their dynamics. So I think you mixed that all in the pot in the gumbo. Not to mention, it is the Bears. They're in this division, and they are one of the most storied franchises, even though they only got one championship. It's beyond me, but it's going to be fun. It's interesting.
Maz thinks they're going to make the playoffs this year. Nick Wright from Fox Sports, he predicted that they were going to make it to the Super Bowl this year. You think they're going to be in the playoffs this year. I've heard Colin Cowherd say that the Chicago Bears are the best situation for a rookie quarterback ever to step into. And again, I don't know. It's just one of those wait and sees. You ever just have a feeling about something and you can't explain why you have the feeling?
Intuition.
But yeah, it's like a
that gut feeling.
Yeah, gut feeling. I just don't think they're going to be good. I don't think he's going to be good. And I'll keep saying that till I'm blue in the face. But he's either going to prove me right or he's going to prove me wrong.
Yeah, no, I stand fast on the side 100%, and you've stuck on that side since the beginning. I respect you for that. Since the inception, I've stuck on the other side. I think he's going to be everything they say. I'm not going to say he's going to be better than that, but I think he will be everything they say. And like Colin said, like others said, we said it here, This is the best situation a rookie quarterback has ever come in. You know, you're talking about a defense that showed you last year they could be a top 5 defense in the NFL. You saw they closed the last 8 games of the season. And then on offense, you got proven weapons. You have proven players on that side. So it's on you. We saw what you were able to do in college when you had those players. We saw 2 years ago what you did at USC. So you got all the weapons, you got all the players, and you have a coach that seems to get it, that this is now an offensive-driven league. So he's giving Caleb Williams, and he's giving the offensive coordinator, he's giving him all the weapons, he's giving him everything that he could possibly need to have success in the division. It ain't going to be easy.
I don't know what this means either, but if you look at another rookie quarterback in the NFC North, J.J. McCarthy. Again, I'm not there, but if you go by what they're saying on the Twitter, on the X, this guy's having a hell of a camp. Got like 22 touchdowns to 1 interception. He's wowing everybody, making every throw. Sam Darnold was inserted as QB1 today on the depth chart, and that's as expected. But JJ is opening up a lot of eyes at Vikings camp, as I thought he would, just not this quickly. I think JJ will benefit from sitting down for a while like a Mahomes, and I'm not comparing him to Mahomes. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying.
Right.
But Mahomes did not start year 1, game 1, and I think that would benefit every quarterback, but especially McCarthy. But that may change because of how good of a camp he's having.
I was gonna say I'll give my one of my friends credit, because even before the draft came, Brian, he had been saying J.J. McCarthy was the best pro prospect at quarterback, like out of all the quarterbacks they was talking about, like out of Jaden Daniels, out of all of them, he said he was the best pro ready quarterback. And really watching J.J. McCarthy play, even as a Michigan State fan, like I'm objective, like he was like you can see it in him, like he can run a pro style offense. And it made me even think, like I would argue to say that he's in an even better situation a little bit than Caleb Williams, because he's with a former quarterback in Kevin O'Connell. Mm-hmm. That's his head coach. He also has Justin Jefferson, so he has the best receiver in the league. He has Jordan Addison, a great number 2 receiver. He has T.J. Hockenson, so he got a great tight end. So it's pretty similar.
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones. So you got a great running back. So it's just like he's in a pretty similar situation. I think, to your point, Ryan, he's in the situation that people think the Bears will be at with Caleb Love. I think they'll probably like flip it on his head, and the Vikings will be that surprise team to a lot of people's.
I think what I saw when Ryan made
a great take.
When Ryan 100%. When Ryan made the comments and he stuck to, people only saw J.J. McCarthy in terms of stats at Michigan, what he was doing, what you didn't see. People can't see past that, and people don't pay attention past that. But looking at it objectively the whole time, he's a guy that learns. He's a guy that leads. He's a guy that's able to stay in the moment. He listens to his coaches. You know, he was able to get better from year to year at the University of Michigan. You saw Jim Harbaugh have more and more trust in him, and the offensive coaching staff and Sharon Moore have more trust in him to make more plays and do more things. You're talking about a guy that's going to be dialed in. And he's no stranger to sitting on the bench watching somebody. He did that with Cade McNamara, but then when his number was called, wasn't he always ready?
Yep.
He was always ready when his number is called. So I think you see the same thing out of him with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold may not be a guy that's been winning playoff games, but he's been a guy that's been in the system. He understands he's a good-minded quarterback for JJ to learn from. Sean McVay loves Sam Darnold, so this is another Sam Darnold. So this is another guy just to learn from, just to sit behind it, just how to watch. Sometimes you got to watch it. Sometimes you I meant to say things, situations. Sometimes you have to watch how a situation is what I was trying to say. How a situation
We're on
plays
after midnight,
out.
it's fine.
When you see certain things in the passenger seat as opposed to approaching them in the driver's seat, you respond totally different. So sometimes being able to see things play out, when you get your opportunity, when you get a chance, you're ready. You've seen it before, even if it wasn't you that took that snap and caused that play. So I think he's going to sit. I think Kevin O'Connell, former teammate of mine with the New York Jets, I think he's one of these young minds in the NFL. I'm going to stop using this term genius. Everybody's not a genius. Kyle Shanahan is a genius. Sean McVay is a genius. A lot of these other guys are Mike McDaniel is a genius. A lot of these guys are figuring it out. And I think Kevin O'Connell is going to show you this year that there's a reason why he was offensive coordinator up under Sean McVay.
You know, it's so funny. Jared Goff's not even 30 years old yet. He's like this
An
elder statesman in the NFC North. I mean, with Jordan Love and Caleb Williams and J.J. McCarthy.
That's one of the points I was going to bring up, though, when y'all were talking about Hendon Hooker being a trade piece. I'm like, Hendon Hooker, if he doesn't start this year, he will start that would mean he's a 27-year-old first-year starting player. And I'm like, I don't really think too many teams are going to be interested in that because, like you just said, Jared Goff not even 30 yet, and he's regarded as an old guy. So it's like, what does a 27-year-old do who ain't never played yet?
But also, it's about the moment. It's about what the team needs in that moment.
That's also fair, too.
When that moment happens, you don't know what the team needs. This could be down the stretch, and they're like, hey, we just need a guy. This could be the beginning of the season.
No, I was talking about, like, trading
this could
for
be
him.
like play up. Yeah, but when play up, they need a guy. They have to pull him off your roster. If you put a guy in a situation or a team in a situation, third-round pick may just be what they have to give you to get this guy. You
That's
know?
fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
Bray, get us out of here, my friend. Hell of a day today. Hell of a day.
Heck of a show. Get used to seeing this time as we won't be in with me, Ryan Ermanni. We're getting you ready for the upcoming NFL season. My man Joe P. Spivak will be tuned in. They will be with us as we provide you more and more and more. Look at Ryan getting pumped up. That's the guy getting pumped up. The Lions season is around the corner, and 2 days the Lions will play their first game against the New York Giants. So we'll get you more tomorrow. Talk from Dan Campbell. Just tune in because this is going to be the show to get you where you need to go. Appreciate you. Ermanni, Edwards with Maz. We'll see you tomorrow.
You know what time it is.